Okay guys, once again going to play some rapid chess, which weirdly seems to be my outlet when I'm not playing well at faster time control. So I played some 3-0, wasn't particularly good, not feeling particularly sharp, also just feeling like I'm not taking off time. Like one of the games I played I finished with 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock and played quite a few moves, just constantly pre-moving. So, there we go, try again. So I'm thinking if I play some 10-0, force myself to slow down, force myself to take some time. Maybe that'll help me get out of this funk. Okay. Okay. So we're going to go back into an Open Sicilian. We've been playing a lot of Open Sicilian recently. Oh, no. Bb5 Sicilian. So here, I think it's important that we can go knight f6. I don't think e5 is an issue. e5 feels like it's not an issue. I can't remember the line. Rook e1. Okay. Let's have a little think. Oh, I can't remember this at all. I sort of keep meaning to start compiling my opening theory and then stopping very quickly. Just I'm not a big fan of spending loads of time on opening theory. So I know that some of the plans are to go like for a sort of dragon setup. Do I want to push e5? I don't really want to play e5, I don't think. Just allowing this c3. If we go g6 now, e5, is that something I need to be worried about? So it's maybe we go knight c6. So knight c6, c3. And I can always decide to e5 after this. Okay. Now we need to make some decisions. So I'll get rid of the bad French bishop. So is going into an advanced French structure something we're thinking about? It's not really. I think that's maybe not so good. I think that given white the space, lean development, because although that I always had 2 pieces developed here, I'm gonna have to drop one back after b5 and then just not the biggest fan of that. I think we just continue. And if we want to go into this structure way as the center, I think that's fine. I think I could potentially get a good bishop on g7. I could potentially play in c5 quite quickly. So let's take bishop g7. I really don't know if this is correct at all, but I feel like this is one of the positions where, yeah, I was going to say this might be something, but I don't know if I just play knight e5. Maybe go knight a5, like you do in a lot of these sort of dragon structures, and then go for a knight on c4. That could be useful. So knight a5, e5. And I'm not convinced I can't just take that. Knight takes, drops back. Does a weak one here. Gets a lot of space that way. But you know what? I don't really like the structure after knight e5. Takes. Seems just to block in the good bishop. And white still has a lot of space. e5 is probably critical here, but it's very committal. So it's critical and committal. So I'm thinking he might just go like bishop f4, bishop g5, just to 22. So it does look like he's preparing to push e5. And what I'm wondering is, can I go knight g4 with the idea of coming back this way? And I do feel like if we get enough pieces off the board, I'm not too fussed about the position opening up. I like that. It also keeps an eye on c4. And if we get mass trades, I feel like that's fine. So if the h3, knight e5 takes f4, go check. I can always come back if I want. Yeah. Like I talked about this in another game where I've got less space as black, so white's got a bit more space. So I want less pieces on the board. So the space isn't as much of an advantage. And here I think it's one of those positions where, do I mind if like f4, bishop e7, e5? I think I take, and then we've got hanging pawns in the centre. I can maybe go rook c8, then go into c5, c4. I don't think I mind that. That's an interesting one. I was tempted to put a rook somewhere, but maybe I just drop back and offer this exchange. And sort of just repeat myself over and over again. Less space, but so e5, knight d takes, it's check, and then he wins on e7. I think I can just sort of ignore it. So my word be e6 takes, queen takes. I go rook e8, just a challenge. So rook e8 e6 is maybe an issue. So rook c8 e6. Say I go at queen c7. So that's right. I'm going to b6 quite quickly. Let's just keep going to this. Takes, take back the pawn. Just dream of that. I'm definitely slightly worse. But I don't think it's anything more than a slight edge for white. If you infiltrate, I might just go rook c7, or rook d8 might just be cleaner. Knight e4, knight e4, knight e4. So we're threatening to go somewhere. So we're not threatening to take, we're threatening to go knight g4, don't really see it. Might just go knight c4. That's just quite an active square. Can maybe go into e5 in the right sort of position. Yeah. Like here, for example, here, do I commit with something like, maybe just play f6? I know it's a very weakening move, but I just want to kind of watch these two squares. I don't really want to allow check, I don't think. Because then I feel like knight g5 and then potentially might be entering this way. I think that's maybe a slightly awkward. f6 I really, I don't like it. Don't like having to play f6. But potentially I've got enough time to play knight e5, maybe activate the rooks this way. Okay, so rook e2. Just sort of asking the question. Where would you like to go? Maybe I'm going to go rook c4 after this, if he goes to queen f4. So queen f4, rook c4. Just again ask the question. Oh, okay. Okay, so he's obviously attacking two pawns. He's going to win one of these. So that I did miss this, which is a bit annoying. But we will pretend like everything's okay. And I'm sort of like thinking, if queen takes e7, kind of go like queen b5. Sort of keep an eye on a lot of different things. If rook d2, maybe I go like knight c4. This could get, at least this way I've got sort of active counterplay. So this feels like knight c3. Is that something we're thinking about? Oh no, knight c3, I can take this. Okay. And what if I just want to take this one now? Is he going to go rook here? Is that what you think? But then I'm defending everything, no? Okay, let's find out. Let's find out. So loaded d2, queen c6 might just be fine. And I can maybe start pushing this one. If knight c3, that's okay. So what I'm thinking is if I go queen here, it might have f4, which is a problem because then he enters one of these squares. So I'm thinking is I go queen c5. Oh no, I don't want to do that either. Do I want to move queen f7? That's queen f7 is a very weird move. But after f4, I go knight c6, and the knight covers this, and I'm still covering here. That's very dicey, and I like how I went from saying active counterplay, and now playing moves like this. Knight c6, it does at least attack queen. And maybe we have time to go like rook d7. We have went passive. But where's the queen go? So we go queen e4, maybe play d5. Everyone's getting covered here. Queen here. Okay, now play rook d7. Just keep everyone under wraps, and we're just going to start pushing this. So we are backed by the rook. This knight's going to cover d4 when it gets there. And again, how'd you go after my position? If you had the knight, I might be greedy and grab this. Might be. So I'm convincing myself not to when I'm talking about it out loud. This pawn does start moving quite fast, so he needs to figure out a plan here. Yep. And again, this is where I'm thinking just go d4, d5 even. What's quite nice is once this queen moves, I can put the rook on f7. So if, say, let's just play a move, we'll need to move that either way, but sorry, knight e4 is probably move d4, rook d3, then I can take this. If I knight c4, I might just come in here. And you can take this, but I feel like you're asking for quite a bit of trouble there. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe that's fine. I still have the nice pass pawn here. Okay. Oh. I actually need to run to the toilet, which is not ideal, but I've got enough time, I suppose. Okay, oh, I think he moved pretty much instantly there. That's frustrating. Okay, let's just keep pushing. Did I push again after this? That's unclear. Oh. Do you feel like this is this pawn's rolling quite quickly? Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. So is he coming in here? Just push again, just ask him the question. And if rook d2 takes on e2, knight c4, rook f7, knight takes. That feels the sort of critical line. Where do we go after that? Oh no, because we're guarding. Oh, that's. Yeah. Maybe this was slightly not thought out. Can always take it. Don't really have enough time to mull over my mistakes. Yes, the problem is if he's going to pick up this, which I wasn't really thinking. I should have left on. Why did I leave on d4? The same thing. It's a bit loose. So if he takes here. Oh, it goes here. What's the threat? Don't see it. Okay. Take here, and then go rook here. This might just fizzle out into essentially a draw. The rook d3 to have anything extra clever. Don't really see it. I could probably pick up this, but then check, and I'm coming out. That becomes very, very dicey. So I might have to play king 2 in that position. So the rook e3, rook here, knight. Oh no, because that covers the queen square. Oh, that's okay. That makes a little bit of sense, I suppose. There's something. So I don't want to move there. Go here, check. King in the corner seems risky, but I don't see immediately how we capitalise. We still have this to deal with. And we still don't have any checks. Now here. He's going this way. Is that the plan? Because there I might go rook. This feels. Do you want to play it a little faster? Maybe it's going to pop. Oh no, I can't. The queen cover really quick. Oh, I just completely missed this. Oh, you. Beep, 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 beep. There, and I'm pretty much bust. Let's quickly play there, just so you fast to find this. Oh, that's shocking. Shocking. Okay guys, really quick analysis. As you can probably tell from my reaction end there, really wasn't happy with my play at all. I'll quickly show a couple of key moments. Here, so I played knight e5, just very careless, just completely forgetting about this pawn on f6, and I think you can probably see the evaluation just jump there entirely. Just rook takes e3, and then rook gives a whole long line, but essentially this equates to the game is equal. So, in this position, for example, a pawn up, but it's not a good pawn, and yeah, absolutely fine. But that was just very careless. Before that, key moment here, and I'd looked at rook e7. Obviously, I decided then to take on e2, which is a bit of a blunder as well. Well, it is a blunder. I looked at your rook e7. For some reason, rook e8 just, I don't think it was on my radar at all, really. Or at least I don't remember it being on my radar, which is really, really quite silly. And here, again, there's a whole line, but I think that black's doing quite well in this variation here, so that was a bit careless. There was a couple other inaccuracies, but nothing I want to talk about too much. The one moment was here, where my instincts were, and I think I said this when I was playing, my instinct was to kind of move this rook and just keep this bishop on this diagonal. You know, I can put it wherever I want to, but control these squares. It's a very good piece, but I convinced myself that the best way to play it was to exchange more pieces because I have less space. But I should also think about not just the number of pieces, but also the quality. And this is just a better piece. This is the best piece on the board probably for me. Quite active, and I really should be just taking my time to play rook fc8. And here I think I'm doing quite well. So a bit annoyed that this is my first instinct and I didn't go with it. Because bishop g7, yeah, as you can see from the eval, not the best. And then before that, we can sort of go to the start. So I've been looking at a few different things. So I've been, well, this, I say recently, sort of this week, essentially, I've spent one day looking at opening theory. And I think that was a bit of a mistake. I think I need to spread out how I look over my repertoire, because I really felt it in my classical games of the weekend, where I knew what I was doing and I sort of knew the plans, but I was mixing up loads of different variations. And like here, for example, I was looking at the C3 Sicilian. I was looking at the open Sicilian where we're going to the Najdorf. I was looking at the closed Sicilian, both where you play F4 and where you play G3. And I did look at the Bishop B5 Sicilian, and that's why I knew all the way up to here. And I was certain this was in my repertoire, which it is. And here I got very confused because there are a couple of variations against these sort of setups where you do look for a quick g6 and you play it like a dragon style structure and you get good play as black. This is not one of them. And here I should have went again with the other move I was looking at, which was e6. And I discarded this for a really stupid reason when I sort of think about it, because in my head I'd seen to here. And this is almost like a French advanced structure where white's got a nice space. The difference is where I didn't have my bad bishop in c8, but I also don't have the ability to play c5 to create some tension in the centre. And for a reason, I evaluated this as a slightly worse position, because I was thinking drop back, and you know, white develops, and white's got a lot of space, and it maybe takes time to go knight e7, f5. Even here, it's probably absolutely fine. But even more critically, I just played knight e4. And this is just a very good variation. There's a whole lot of different moves. I think the computer gives a3, but you can go either knight into d2. There are some plans, I can't remember the exact move order, but it might be something like queen e2, rook d1. But you essentially manipulate the position so you can go knight e1 and try and play f3. Very, very slow plan, and at some point I can break with f6, the classic sort of French break in the centre. Play rook c8, get nice control of the c file. There's no weird tricks to try and win this knight, although, you know, if somehow a pawn appeared on f3 right now, it would be trapped. There's no good way to do it. I'm getting f6, which not only gives a retreat square, which is quite good, but also blasts open the centre. Probably my favourite variation of this would be knight h4, which doesn't work for many reasons. One, just bishop e7, but you're going for f3, and here you can actually play knight takes d4 and bishop c5. So yeah, a little bit disappointing that I'm not sort of taking information. I think this is not just down to me not remembering, but also the method by which I'm studying my opening theory. I think that I'm trying to put it onto one day because I don't really enjoy studying opening theory, rather than maybe doing 10 minutes in the morning and then just consistently doing that over and over and over again. Once I get my repertoire set up, so I'm creating study plans in Lichess, once I get all them set up, I'm going to try and put them into Chessable courses, and hopefully doing that will make it a little bit easier to sort of just log onto my phone and play through a little bit and maybe learn that way. But if you guys have any tips on how best to motivate yourself for one, but also how you guys learn open theory. Let me know, because that's a quite big weakness in my game at the moment. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed and it was at least interesting, if not the best of games. Okay, thanks guys.